Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Vampire the Masquerade Independence. On tonight's episode, we open our scene at Anna's apartment, where she'd fortunately been given the day off. There hadn't been a murder in the past few days, which, on one hand, made her kind of sad because she did like investigating those things, but on the other hand, she was glad to be out of the supervision of the FBI. At least partially. She takes a glance out the window just to make sure that the brown sedan is parked across the street still, before pushing all the heavy curtains back in place. She, of course, knew that there was only one officer down there, and he might not even be awake at this time anymore, but still she liked to check so that everything was as it should be. And so she sits down in front of the TV, switching it on, finding PBS to start watching a documentary about an outbreak and transmission of HIV/AIDS and how the government responded. Typical evening viewing for the little Malcav. Cough, I mean not Malcav. And that's where we join our other players. Or at least one of them. Where is Izzy?
Izzy had been spending some time talking to Celio. More than likely, the two had talked about League and other things going on in the city. She's been complaining to him about being harpy now and Mitch owing her quite a lot, but deciding that she needs some air, she would have gone outside, asked Celio if she could borrow his car, and would be driving herself to see Anna. After all, she had to. So, after I think it's a relatively short drive between the penthouse and Anna's, she'll see that the brown van's there, pull around back, and come in through the back way.
Again, fortunately for Izzy, the building was, I'm going to say, cheap enough to not have an elevator installed. So it was instead a nice climb up a few flights of stairs to the run-down looking corridor that led up to Anna's small apartment.
She'd look around at everything, taking in the much more decrepit look. It was weird for her to be in a place like this with how used she was to being in the penthouse anymore, but it almost took her back to her roots. Once she gets to Anna's door, she'll knock.
That causes Anna to start slightly, as she wasn't entirely expecting anyone. Leaving the TV running, as though whoever was inside had potentially fallen asleep whilst watching it, she creeps away across the room to look out through the peephole. On the other side, Izzy might hear a as Anna relaxes, and a series of deadbolts and chains being unlatched from her side of the door before it opens up, and she's grabbed in a rather tightly clinging hug.
Aww. Hey, Anna. And she'll hug her. Thought I'd come over. You hungry?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll kind of nudge her, like, okay, let's go in and I'll fix some dinner.
Oh, okay. And she steps back to allow Izzy to walk in, and once she is inside, she'll take a glance out in the corridor, just look back and forth before leaning back in and closing the door, proceeding to lock everything up again.
Once they were inside, she would have slid out of her jacket and tossed it onto, well, not tossed it, she would have probably put it somewhere neatly. I'm assuming there's some sort of, like, place to hang a coat.
There's a couple of coat hooks next to the door, yeah.
Yeah, she'd put it up there, not wanting to throw off poor Anna's OCD. And she'd make her way over to the couch. Hey, so I've got some advice for you from Celio.
Oh? She asked as she moved across to the sofa, taking a seat on the other side from Izzy as she raised the remote to pause whatever was on it.
Alright. So, that guy out there, do you want to get him bloodbound to you?
Officer Blasowski?
Yes. With him following you like he is, it'd be kind of useful to get him to do that.
Oh, okay. How do I do that?
Well, he has to drink your blood, much like you've drank mine, but, well, he's a human. It's not like you're going to be like, here, have some dinner. She playfully holds her arm out. It's not how you do. Now, my idea, or his really, is you get him some donuts, jelly filled, but get some of your blood inside. They don't need very much. A couple drops will do it. You won't even notice. Have a ghoul bring it out to him.
Oh, I don't have a ghoul.
I know you don't, but I do. Gotta use my busboy for something. Getting the FBI bound to us, or at least officers bound to us, would be a very, very smart thing to do.
Oh, about the FBI. Did you pass on my message?
Yeah, I did, and you know what Mitch told me?
What
That I'm the Harpy now.
is that all he's doing? She looked kind of concerned about this.
No, he's backing off, hiding. She rolled her eyes a little bit.
Uh, and Anna raises her hands up to her forehead and rubs it gently.
I know. I know. He's not like the rest of my coterie at all. Certainly nothing like Celio.
She gives a soft sigh before kind of sliding sideways to flop down with her head in Izzy's lap. I miss hanging out with people. It's not nice being cooped up. I realized what I was missing.
And she looks down at her and smiles a little. No, it's really not. We miss you, trust me. It's kind of lonely at the penthouse when Celio gets busy and I don't have anybody else to talk to. Anyway, are you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. And, she'll take out her knife like usual, puncture her wrist, and then, she'll look around for something to put it in. Not seeing anything right away, she'll just offer Anna her wrist.
You didn't bring blood packs.
No. I kind of thought it would be too dangerous.
Well, I suppose, but I mean, isn't this dangerous?
This? No. And I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking you get bound to me, and then I will bind to you. When you're feeling better, of course. I don't want to drink from you when you don't have enough.
She looks up at Izzy for a moment as though studying her, though trying to make her mind up before hands move to clasp around, one around Izzy's hand, the other around her forearm. And then she bites in.
Ooh, okay, so she bit in, so that means, let's see. Is it self-control I have to roll to not...
Let me roll self-control first.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, Izzy bites. Anna bites in.
Yeah.
She's a hungry little male cat.
I guess Izzy's gonna have to stop her at some point. Dave, question. Resisting the derpy effect of being bit.
Self-control.
Self-control? Yeah.
Yeah, mine was for whether she just went for the open cut or bit. I got a nice palindromic number though.
I don't know, I was like, that's really nice.
It meshes well with Anna's OCD.
Oh, I've got good control. So while that felt amazing, she has enough control over herself to not let Anna drink all of her blood. She'll give you about 3 points worth, which she figures would be enough to help you through. And then she'll start to try to tug her wrist away, going, Anna, Anna, that's enough.
See, whilst Anna didn't have the self-control necessary to not bite into Izzy's wrist, she does have the foresight to realise that she kind of needs Izzy, at least for the moment. And so after the 3 blood points, which is roughly what she was going for anyway, to replenish yesterday's not feeding, today's rising, and potentially tomorrow's as well, she'll pull up and give a soft sigh and shudder a little.
Better?
Mm-hmm.
She'll lay her head back against the couch. One hand kind of petting Anna's hair, and the other she'll lift to her mouth and she'll lick her wound closed. Guess I could bring my ghoul next time.
Yeah, I'll get some syringes from work and put some blood in a donut.
Yeah. Chili filled. She nods. Ooh, the kind with the powder on top. Those are delicious. I miss donuts.
I don't think I ever had one.
What did... What? What? She looks confused.
Well, I didn't really earn that much. I hadn't got much money, so I mean, all I did was eat like what you needed.
When I was a kid, every now and then my brother would rake leaves for the neighbors or shovel snow when it would snow, and he'd save up, and once a week he'd bring home something for me. Sometimes it would be a donut, sometimes a candy bar. He took care of me.
My dad didn't let me eat things like that.
Why not?
Said it was a waste of money.
Once in a while you have to indulge. It's not a waste of money to occasionally indulge and be happy.
I suppose, but I mean, I was just a kid and I couldn't really tell him what to do.
Oh, no. She shrugged. I didn't hear much from my parents growing up. They mostly just stayed quiet. Well, when they weren't rowdy and drunk. Anyway, she shakes her head. Speaking of family, I've been meaning to talk to you, Anna. Out of curiosity.
Anna turns her head slightly to look up at Izzy. Eyebrows raised rather questioningly.
Would you ever lie to me, Anna?
It's subterfuge and manipulation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it's my perception empathy, right, Dave?
Yep. And you are at difficulty 5, I believe.
So... Um... 1, 2, 3 is a difficulty 5.
No, I've got 4.
Hmm.
She furrows her brow a bit before shaking her head slowly. Well, not unless it was to protect you or something. You get the feeling that there might be some amount of insincerity there, like she could potentially lie about maybe forgetting a birthday, or maybe lying saying that she's going to be attending something and then doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't think that she'd lie about anything big to you?
True. But Izzy will sigh again and go, it just seems a little odd that you're a caitiff, or at least you claim you're a caitiff, because you just don't seem like a caitiff.
I don't.
No. I've seen, well, your apartment. I've seen the way you handle things. I've seen the way you take notes. Your awkwardness, no offense. You don't scream caitiff to me, you scream Malkavian. Like
Well,
me.
I don't think I'm a Malkavian. Do you want to roll again?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
What?
I'm going to say that my persuasive does not count because she's not trying to persuade you of anything, she's just flat out lying.
I still wouldn't make it anyway. Maybe, hold on. My 10 might count as 2 because of attentive. So if I take out the 5...
That because you have been paying attention to what Anna's doing.
Well, 3 and 3, but Defender wins, but I'm starting to become convinced. How does that sound?
Seems good to me.
So, she's just accused you of being a Malkavian.
And Anna's denied it.
Yep. And Izzy's gonna look at her and she's gonna go, it's okay if you are. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just stupid. But it just seems like... I don't know, you just seem so harmless. You couldn't be like me. But at the same time, it's just... You just remind me of the people that were in... where I met Dr. Morgan.
I do?
Some of the people that he was treating, they had extreme OCDs. Not quite like you. You have a milder form. It's just some of their tendencies, the way they keep their houses, the way they can't handle things being out of place. I have a feeling if I would have just thrown my jacket down onto your table here haphazardly and knocked some things out of place, you would have instantly straightened them up, wouldn't you?
Charisma and performance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no roll required from your part. You see Anna visibly twitch at the thought.
That's my point. Have you ever had a vision, Anna?
She goes quiet, glancing away for a moment.
She glances away. She just kind of lays. She keeps her head laid back against the couch. She's not exactly looking at Anna, more like looking at the ceiling. I've had plenty of visions, especially in this town. Crazy shit. First time I had a vision, I was in New York, and I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I just ran to the Primogen as fast as I could. He lived next door.
I had dreams of a skeleton, and there were the faces of my mom and dad. And this was like last week.
That's the one everybody had, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. She shrugs.
At those words, she'd actually feel Anna slightly untense. I'm just going to give you that one.
Yeah. She's not going to say anything about it at that point. She's just going to keep petting Anna's hair. She has her suspicions.
Anna gives a soft sigh before moving to sit up slowly, her eyes turning to Izzy.
Izzy finally looks at her.
Please don't tell anyone else. The nervousness has just completely gone from her face.
Why would I tell anybody else that I have a stupid theory?
Again, she watches her, but this time, rather than it being the visage of someone worriedly trying to work out what Izzy's thinking, it's a very analytical look at her.
She's gonna arch a brow at Anna. That completely different Anna is kind of jarring. But she's going to say, Anna, you were a Malkavian. It's not really my business, is it? Be exciting to know another Malkavian. It'd be exciting, but it's not like something I would be running to tell Mitch.
She's silent for a few moments longer before she just smiles slightly and gives a gentle nod. Oh, okay. And at the drop of a hat, the nervousness is just back.
Now it's time for her. I think she's gonna use the Demontation 3. Because there's a pattern here.
Go ahead and roll.
That was, Perception Occult, right?
Yes, and I'm waiving the defaulting because she's studied Anna for a while.
One success.
You notice that there's something in Anna's general behaviour. It's almost as though, to give an example, if Izzy was staring at a pool of water, the centre where you would expect there to be the most ripples, is a perfectly calm, glassy mirror. Only at the edges does it seem that there is movement.
Anna? She looks at her. You don't have to pretend.
Pretend?
You don't have to pretend to be someone else just so people like you. Or trust you.
Why would you think I'm pretending?
I've seen you switch one or more times now. There's almost like there's two Annas. There's this Anna that is so calm, so unnerved. And then there's the Anna that stutters and is afraid and timid.
There's another few seconds of silence before she leans back slowly and then just straightens up. Unlike you've ever seen Anna do before, rather than being slightly huddled and enclosed, she's just sitting with a straight back, just looking at Izzy.
Izzy's gonna furrow her brows and look at her.
I don't pretend so that I'm liked. Again, the nervousness is snapped off.
Isabel kind of turned to her. Then why pretend?
Who looks to the nervous little girl when something's wrong?
You're right. So it's a defense mechanism.
Please don't tell anyone.
I'm not going to. She puts a hand on Anna's shoulder.
You are right, though. I am not good with people.
Honestly, I'd say that you're good with people in a different sort of way.
I don't follow your logic.
You're good at making us think that you're harmless.
Your point taken.
So, does that mean you're not really my friend?
Her brow furrows slightly. I think that you've been the closest thing that I've ever had to have a friend.
Or checking my sheet. She's gonna try to do perception empathy to make sure you're not lying, because right now she's feeling distrustful.
Okay.
She's confused. Um, 3 successes?
Anna is, for once, And Izzy gets the feeling that Anna is being entirely sincere with what she's just said there.
And Izzy will smile a little bit at that. And then she'll hug Anna again.
Even though the nervousness has broken, there's still the incredible awkwardness that Anna gives off when she tries to hug back.
While that's going on, she's just going to run her fingers through Anna's hair. Don't worry, I'm going to keep your secret.
I'd like to go back to being the Anna everyone knows now, if that's okay.
If that's what makes you comfortable.
And as Izzy says that, she can feel Anna just kind of hunch up slightly. Thank you.
Isabel's just going to pull her back into her lap where she was before. Just kind of look down at her, trying to figure out how to deal with all of the emotions she's feeling right now about this.
Anna easily slides back down into so that she's laying her head in Izzy's lap again, and just kind of curls fingers into a fold of Izzy's trousers. Or pants if you want to be American.
Either or, right?
Mm-hmm. Has Jack decided to break his obfuscate?
Ruined the whole surprise and everything, huh?
That's what I do.
Yeah. It's about this time that, as the two of you are having your moment, comes a loud slurp from the corner of the room, as if someone were sipping at a drink that kind of just ran out and it's just the ice in the cup now.
Instantly, Anna's fight or flight response kicks in and she sits bolt upright, eyes wide open as she glances over in that direction.
Izzy's hand's on her knife right now. She's got it in her hand and she's ready to stab.
And both of you will see Jack, who's dressed in a more or less a business suit, and just with his back to the corner of the room, and he has just a big gulp from one of the gas stations down the street. He shakes it a bit. You hear the ice in it, and lowers it, and looks up to the two of you. He's still holding it. It's just he's holding it by his side now. Touching.
After the moment it takes to realise who it is, there's a sudden intake of breath from Anna, and she takes a step back and glances at Izzy, almost genuinely nervously, before looking back at Jack.
Izzy just stares between them and then she looks at Anna. Do you know this guy?
Yes. I didn't know. that you were still in town. I thought you would have left.
Well, that's the funny thing about having a billionaire playboy persona in the human world. They expect you to be places. There's a big premiere at a movie theater just down the street. Down a few streets, actually. But I was absolutely expected to be there. He sighs and says, "Gotta keep up appearances, don't we?"
There's an ever so slight smile just kind of flutters onto the edges of Anna's lips. Quite a genuine one.
And he'll glance at Isabel and say, "It doesn't matter which door you use to leave, whenever you do leave. I took the liberty of slipping the agent outside a rather potent sleeping pill. He'll wake up in about 12 hours.
Did you get that from my medicine cabinet?
No, but now that I know that you have them, that saves me a lot of time."
Isabel will get up. Um,
It's okay. He's not hostile to us.
and if it's not too rude, who are you?
He'd say, "I'm surprised you haven't heard of me. With all the buzz around your Elysium's uh, Jack Fox. Name ring any bells?"
Takes her a moment. And eventually she's going to just kind of go, the Archon?
His eyebrows go up a bit, and he gives a bit of a nod.
Right. Then her, air quotes, training kicks in, and she steps forward, offers him her hand. Isabel Hale, Harpy.
You just go, take her hand and shake it, and normally he would clasp it with both hands, but since he's holding the big gulp in the other hand, he sets the bottom of the big gulp on top of her hand. He goes, "I've heard a lot about you from your sire." And he offers a bit of almost a sadistic smirk.
You know Dr. Morgan.
"I am the Archon."
True. I'm curious what an Archon is doing in the apartment of Miss Anna.
So, well, I had some business with her, and that's up to her to divulge if she wishes to tell you about it.
Isabel will turn to her. Kind of arch a brow.
Again, there's a few moments of just watching her as though she's analysing something in her brain. He's my sire.
It's at that point the knife that Izzy was holding drops. And she blinks. Your sire is an Archon.
You dropped something.
Well, she's ignoring Jack right now.
Dropped something.
Yeah. Go pick it up. Your sire's the Archon.
Yes?
Isabel at this point doesn't know what to say, and she just goes back to the couch and sits down.
At least you know that there's another Malkavian around.
Two Malkavians around, and she looks at Anna.
And Anna glances between the two of them. Slowly. Again, Izzy, please don't tell anyone.
I'm not gonna tell anyone, Anna.
Thank you.
And she just kind of shakes her head, and she's like, I don't even know what to say, Anna. I'm not gonna tell anyone, but I'm not happy that you've lied to me so much. I'm certainly not pleased that you tried to deny it, and then, out of the blue, oh, you just dropped this bombshell on me, and she motions to Jack.
And at this point, he's just put his weight onto his left leg, and he's just watching the two of you. Slightly bemused.
People treat you differently if they know that you are somehow affiliated with an Archon. I have never asked for favors. I wish to get everywhere by myself. I do not want to have people treat me differently because of my situation. That was something that I was taught. And she glances to Jack.
It says, and the way you say situation, it seems almost like you regret this.
A difficult choice of words. None seem to appreciate the nuances of it. I regret nothing. At all. Except perhaps lying to Izzy.
Isabel's face visibly softens at that, but it goes back to a sort of calmness, and more reserved look.
Everyone has secrets, Izzy.
Yeah. didn't think you would hide certain things from me. Especially being a Malkavian, you act like I don't know what it's like.
And that Jack's just gonna look to Isabel and say, "And how have you been treated as being a part of our clan?"
Exactly how you would expect. My coterie make fun of me in their own ways, out of eye rolling. And she looks to Anna, which is why I would have thought you would understand it most of all then.
I have never made fun of you, Izzy.
No, not you.
And likewise, I would have thought that you would understand why I seek to hide this. After all, I have elicited sympathy from most of those I've come in contact with. Pity and motherly feelings from others.
And she'll kind of cant her head. But we're one and the same. We're both children of Malkav. Aren't we supposed to stick together?
If you have not noticed, I have stuck by your side, Izzy.
Yeah. You have.
It's at this point that Jack's gonna look to Isabel and say, "Where have you heard that term?"
What, children of Malkav?
Mm-hmm.
The primogen of Malkavians in New York. He used to always say we were children of Malkav.
A man by the name of...
Rick. And out of character, can't think of his last name, but I think it was Grayson.
Yeah, it was.
Rick Grayson.
There's a slow nod to that and goes, "Well, what would you say about Rick?"
He's a dick?
Or is that because it rhymes or because it's true?
Can it be both? She kind of smirks a little bit.
So do you hold any fondness for this individual?
Only in that he gave me my first haven. Aside from that, he didn't exactly do me any favors. Considering I went to help him on something, fell catatonic, couldn't get up, having terrible visions, and he left me on the floor.
I'm saying, well, that terminology is not one used by the Camarilla. I advise you not to use it.
It's not? That
He
makes
shakes
her
his
look
head.
very...
What was that?
No, she's starting to look really uneasy about the idea that that's not Camarilla terms. Then why would Rick use those words?
And that is an excellent question, which I fully intend on asking him myself.
She sinks back into the seat a bit more.
Mr. Fox.
He sighs at that and goes, "Just call me Jack. The Mr. Fox thing gets real old at the airport. I don't want to hear you say that."
Okay, Jack. Have you been watching my work in this city?
Mm-hmm.
Have I made you happy?
I expected no less than what you've put out. Could be better in a lot of areas, actually.
Anna seems to take that in great praise, and a genuine smile appears on her face. I'll do better in the future.
I'm sure you will. Experience has a habit of making us better.
Clueless little Izzy goes, "Yeah, she's done quite a bit to cover the masquerade."
And to that he'll give a bit of a nod. Say, "Yes, I think you'll find that she's quite talented." He'll look back to her, uh, to Anna, and it's as if he's saying that to answer or to respond to Isabel, but from Anna's standing, that could very well be taken in a different way.
Her smile starts to grow wider.
Oh. On that note, Isabel starts to get up again. I probably should get the car back to Celio.
Anna nodded gently. Okay. Will you come back later in the week?
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to bring my goal by. Want me to bring my laptop next time?
That would be nice. I will learn from my sire and take certain actions that should alleviate suspicion.
Good, good. Oh, nice meeting you, Mr. Fox.
It's been a pleasure.
She gives Anna a look before she leaves. It's like she wants to run over and hug her, but she's confused right now. So instead she offers a little bit of a wave and walks out the door.
Anna catches Izzy just before she leaves, and even though Izzy was a bit hesitant, Anna does just grab her into a hug.
Aww.
While the two of you are hugging, Jack will go ahead and he'll vanish. And the way he does it is, even if he's being observed, the last things that vanish are kind of like a Cheshire smile in his eyes.
Well, what Izzy might realise during the hug is that it's incredibly similar to the one that Anna gave her when she'd first arrived that evening, as though that aspect was entirely not an act. However, Anna did notice Jack disappear, and inside she's like, he's so cool. And then she'll finally let Izzy go.
Izzy will hold her through that. She will notice Jack leave as well and just kind of ponder how that happened, wanting to learn her stealth a little bit more. But she'll give Anna a smile and say, "You don't have to worry about anything. I'm not going to talk. Though I do suggest you see Dr. Morgan about it at some point. He's our primogen."
Yes. I will speak with him next time I'm at the laboratory.
Sure, he probably already figured it out. Anyway, I will see you later on in the week.
She gives that characteristic little slight smile that everyone's come to know from the nervous Anna, and nods, moving to unlock the door.
And with that, she steps outside and heads off. Think this is a good enough place to cut it?
Anna just holds the door open a little bit longer than necessary before moving to close it. Final thoughts?
Isabel's final.
Go ahead.
Isabel's final thoughts as she's driving home are a little bit excited that there's another Malkavian, a female that she can relate to in the city. Somebody she knows and trusts. But there's another part of her that's almost nervous, sick feeling in her stomach when she realizes that Jack Fox is her sire, and with all the rumors that follow Jack Fox, the whispers she's heard at Elysium's makes her nervous about Anna.
And Jack is just having a bit of a difficult time choosing when to make his appearance known, and opted to be silent a bit longer than he probably should have, just so he could see if Anna was going to spill her secret to Isabel or not.
Meanwhile, Anna, locking the door behind everyone, seems rather thrilled. She's made her sire proud, apparently. She'll have to think a lot more fully about the next time she plies her trade. Perhaps the last one was more along the lines of what he was after in the first place. And she goes and sits back down in front of the TV, pressing play once more. Although her attention is no longer on the documentary, it appears that she's planning something extravagant. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And that's all for tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Independence.